Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Random Review Series. DBougie86 here again. Yes, I'm finally back. Now, the film I got for you guys today is a film that's actually being released in the month of December of this year. So it's a 2016 film, and it's brought to us from our good peeps at the Sleaze Box and Gatorblade Films, their second collaboration this year. And this film, of course, is titled Cannibal Claus. I don't have an actual copy to show you of this film, but you'll see like the thumbnail, so you know exactly what this film is going to be about. Of course, this film is directed by Sean Donuhue and produced by him and Chris Woods. And of course, Sean, of course, is the director of films that I've seen before, like Joe Vampire. He also directed Die Die, Delta Pi, Death Squad Service. Very interesting filmography for a director, I have to say, and he pushes the boundaries of his films with the subject matter and the stuff that happens with him, which mostly all sleaze box films do. Like the ones that they make, they have that sleaze aspect to them, but there's a lot of boundary pushing in his films and the subject matter of them, and this one is no exception. Of course, we have a few of the Sleazebox regulars that make appearances in this film. But of course, this film stars Bob Glazer, who has been in numerous films of the Sleazebox and Gatorblade film productions in the past. And he's a very interesting actor in the way he performs and delivers his lines and the way he acts in films like this sleazy aspect of this guy in the films. He plays different numerous characters, but they're usually just the same because it is just Bob Glazer being Bob Glazer in films. But this one's even awesomer because he plays Nick Kringle, who's actually a mall Santa who actually, on the eve of Christmas Eve, he actually ends up losing his job, and he's on the brink of insanity, as we see, and he ends up going on a killing spree throughout the film. And that is pretty much how the film progresses. It's actually, we follow him as he goes on his night of debauchery and mayhem and slaughtering people. That is pretty much the main plot of it. We don't go and dwell way too into it. Now, the thoughts on the film when I was watching it, a very interesting way to set up a film, it's kind of like in the same tone as Chaos AD. They actually have very similar opening title sequences, which I did like because it goes with the holiday spirit. Because if you know, Chaos AD actually takes place on Halloween, and of course this film takes place on Christmas. It opens up with like this very serene soundtrack with these interesting Christmas cards that you see with like the credits and like the cast and stuff in the film. And it has like pictures and images of like Santa Claus and like Christmassy feel to it. So it dwells into that aspect. And I do like that they keep like the Christmas motive with the soundtrack. There's a lot of undertones of like Christmas music that dwells into the soundtrack, but it also has like this airiness, like character study type soundtrack with it also, which this film pretty much really is. It's a character study of this individual, and we follow him through his night. Now, Bob Glazer was born to play like this type of role, because if you ever seen him in numerous sleazebox films before, he always had like the gray beard and stuff, especially in American Holocaust, which is one of the second film that I ever seen with Bob Glazer in the film. And he kills every role that he's in because of the aspect and the thing. Now, you put him in like a Santa Claus suit, it's just perfect. His one-liners had me cracking up through the whole time, and it just embellished. And this film does have like a lot of cool like gore sequences because he is pretty much a cannibal in the film. So he does collect body parts from numerous victims, which usually is like our other staple sleazebox actors and actresses like Ashley Caputo's in this film, also Kate Phoenix, Amanda Welsh. A bunch of them make appearances. Crystal Pixie Adams also has like a very small role in the film, which is very interesting because it kind of took me out of place of the film, because it's kind of like one of those like infomercials, like a car dealership commercial type deal. That's what it kind of reminded me of in a way, the way it was filmed and stuff, like one of those old school car commercial type deals. But it was really interesting to see the change in the scenery of the film, because it's like this sunny like commercial type like scene in the film. But really interesting aspect, and I really like how actually Chris Woods was the director of photography on this film. And if you know from my previous review of Chaos AD, he uses a lot of like Argento type images with his like camera work with like tinges, because and it goes well with the story because is a lot of like reds and greens that pop up in certain scenes, especially in Glazer's house, Nick's house in the film, which is really aspect of the Christmas feel of it, because you know this film takes place in Florida, so don't know when they actually filmed it, but really interesting aspect of they do try to get that Christmas vibe, especially with the soundtrack and the way they shoot the film. And there's a lot of other cool like scenes later on in the film that include like more red tinges and this really elegant like lovemaking scene that involves like a shower. That's all I'm going to give away. And it has like this beautiful like blue tinge and like this synthetic like organ based like synth score that pulsates throughout like the shower scene, which is really dwells me into the story. Now the film only runs like an hour long. It's like a little over an hour, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's not overly too like drawn out in the aspect of that area, and it dwells well into the story because you just get into the juice and grittiness of what's going on in the film. And I did kind of like that because I did have problems with Sean's previous work, like Joe Vampire, with it being a little too short, and I wish they kind of dwelled into some situations. But this one, I really didn't have a problem with that because you get most of the story of what's going on and the outcome of the ending in this film. So I did like that aspect of it, and I love like all the gore and stuff. And there's really cool things that goes into like Nick's backstory with like his past as a child, which I really liked. And it was all like shot in like this really great like black and white scenes with Alberto Giovanni, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, with his family actually playing Nick's family in the past, which was very dwelling. It's like a bookmark scene too, which dwells into the psychosis of Nick as a character. So I really didn't dig this, man. It's nothing you had to take too seriously. Of course, I'll pro-warn people, if you haven't seen a Sleaze box film before, check a few of the other ones out before you check them out to see if they're for you, because there's a lot of like gratuitous nudity, sleaziness, and of course violence in these films and depravity. So if you haven't seen a Sleaze box film and you don't think they're for you, this might not be your type of tea. But if you like the sleaze and the indie feel of this type of stuff and depraved acts and all that good stuff, this is def for you. So if I had to rate Cannibal Claus, I'm giving it a solid 7 out of 10. I believe this film is coming out sometime in December. I'm going to leave the links to like the Facebook page and the Sleazebox Facebook page also in this description, and a few other links, of course, like the Sleazebox's usual like website and all that good stuff. So you find out more information when this is actually going to be released. I believe it's actually going on pre-order on the Sleazebox's website this week actually, so I believe it's going on like Thanksgiving Day, so look out for that. So yeah, I'm going to leave the link to the Sleazebox's Facebook group where they're going to post when this thing is going to go live and stuff. So check out all the links. I'll leave a link to the trailer also in my description. And as always, guys, I'll see you next video. Peace out.